Good morning. That is too close. Let's get further away, shall we? There we go. How about that? That is much better. This is what happens, by the way. This is, people laugh about this. I actually had a very sweet person who asked me the question, and I know they weren't being mean. They asked it on the app. I actually have really, really naturally very curly hair, and when the humidity jacks up like it does, this just goes sideways. So what I have learned to do is cut my hair very short. Unfortunately, I don't get my hair cut for about another two or 3 weeks, I think it is. I don't check now because I did text him. But so this is what happened. So very sweet lady. She said, "What's going on with your hair?" That is called curl. I can really mousse it down, but then I look really goofy. It is summer, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't technically summer yet. I know that. But it sure feels like it here in Ohio. Crazy weather last night. Going to be crazy again today. Now, they have taken out the tornadic. That's really bad now. That is really bad. And that's really, should have left it alone. Should have left this alone. It is now going to bother me. So we go to break. Stop. Really? Stop. So bad weather last night in Ohio, really crazy in Iowa and the Midwest. They had some Nebraska, Iowa. They had some really heavy weather. Tonight, though, we got a cool news that today and tonight's going to be fairly calm. I know a lot of you have heard me talking about it over the last few weeks. Of course, my wife and I, we're going on Memorial Day weekend. We're going to Asheville, North Carolina. It's going to be a lot of fun. Excited about that. Last night I was talking to the guy that's picking us up from the airport. We use a car service to pick us up. And he was telling me about all the cool coffee shops. So I will definitely give you an update. We're back next week. Just so you know, we have a show tomorrow. We've got an interesting show tomorrow about church and what is happening and kind of the change of the church and things that are going on there. A doctor who's written a great book on that. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Then next week, just to do some housekeeping, I will not be doing a show. Of course, obviously Memorial Day, no show. And then the Tuesday, I'm not doing a show either because of some other commitments. But we'll be back Wednesday for just one day, and maybe 2 days. Maybe we'll do a second show next week. You just never know. But man, so many things going on. By the way, I was talking about coffee. You know, I love my coffee from 7 Weeks Coffee. 7 Weeks Coffee. It's incredible. You know what I did because it's been hot? I sometimes take my coffee and put it in the refrigerator. Just kind of give it, it's like iced coffee, except it's really not iced coffee, but it's just cold coffee. And it just, this time of year, just tastes good. Anyway, that's when you know a sign of a good coffee is when you can drink it cold and it still tastes really good. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is a sign of a really good coffee. And right now, they've got some great deals going on. Now, the folks at 7 Weeks Coffee, listen, they know me. They know I can't keep a secret. And it's really tough for me. It's also tough for me to try to throw in everything that they've got going on for sales. So what we've done, or what they've done, is allowed me to tell you that there's a discount. They said, Rob, there's so many discounts on the website that you're going to miss some, and then that's going to not be good. So just there are a lot of deals on the website. Go to 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. They've been with us for over a year now, and we are so happy for the folks at 7 Weeks Coffee and how much they have done for us. A lot of interesting things going on, by the way, today. You could do it right now. Today is, by the way, Catch Some Ray Day. Ray May Catch Some Rays in May Day. Wow. Whoever did that was not, yeah. But that is the day today. So go out, catch some rays. You can do that here right now. Like I'm looking out the window as we speak. Go do it quick. If you're in Ohio, it's supposed to get really cloudy this afternoon. Going to be kind of an interesting afternoon. There are going to be storms, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as we've had it over the last few weeks. Crazy spring. Crazy spring. Hey, I want to thank the great folks at My Snackies. No looking cam today, unfortunately, but the great folks at My Snackies. Listen, if you're like me, you have a whole bunch of graduation parties coming up. In fact, next weekend, I have 2 graduation parties to go to. On one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And so you can check out and be the cool friend. Bring some My Snackies. Go to My Snackies. It's my-snackies.com. And then when you call to order, mention that you heard about it on Abundant TV. And we'd appreciate that so very much. Listen, so much going on in the world. But a couple things. I'm a baseball guy. Colt Emerson comes up, called up from the minor leagues to the major leagues for the Seattle Mariners. Young kid. He's actually from Ohio. It's kind of cool story. First at bat, first hit's a home run, 3-run home run. Colt Emerson, welcome to the big show. Big fella. What a great thing. Cool stuff going on. Spurs Thunder last night. Did you see any of this game? Overtime. Spurs win game 1. It's going to be a tough one. I did not get to see the game. My wife and I were in full, you got to get the house ready because you're going on vacation and you have animals that have to be taken care of. So someone has to come into the house. So the house has to look really, really clean. We were in that full mode last night. Didn't get to see any of the game, but man, it looked incredible. That's going to be a great series. Still think Thunder going to win. That's just my opinion. But incredible game, incredible overtime game. And congratulations, by the way, the Spurs get that first game victory. Always important, always a good thing, even if they don't win the series. I mean, come on. If you're truly a Spurs fan right now, are you not like jumping around? I mean, this is a good team. I'm really impressed with the Spurs. Of course, the Thunder, amazing. And of course, you've got I don't know. Is it just me, or would you like to see the Knicks? Are you one of those guys that would like to see the Knicks make the finals? And nothing against. I live in Ohio, so Cleveland. We hear a lot about Cleveland, and hey, great team in Cleveland also. But something about it, wouldn't you kind of like to see the Knicks in the finals? Just my ideas. Hey, this is the morning break. When we come back, Dr. Trudy's going to be with us. We'll do that after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Great, folks. 7 Weeks Coffee, 7weekscoffee.com. No, I didn't have time to go and run and get my hair fixed. So that's just the way it is going to be. Just completely the way it is. One of my favorite people to have on the show, and she's on regularly, is Dr. Trudy. Dr. Trudy, good to have you here. Do you have curly hair?
Well, I have very straight hair, but my hair's kind of looking funky today too, because we had field day at my daughter's school this morning and I came rushing in. So we'll just have weird hair together today.
It's weird hair day on the morning break. And it's good to have you here. Missed you the last couple weeks. How's your mom doing? Got to always ask. I actually had somebody on the app ask me this morning when the notification went out that you were this morning's guest. Somebody sent a message to the app and asked, how is Dr. Trudy's mom?
Oh, well, thank you. Today she is well. So today she's doing good. She's out of the hospital again. She was back in there last week. And she is home now, and hopefully, we won't be back at the hospital for a while.
Yes.
But because of her condition, liver disease, kidney disease, she will be back in. They told us probably every 6 to 8 weeks when her liver starts to kind of fail, we'll have to get her back in and they'll have to do some, emergency treatments on her. And so it's kind of an ongoing thing probably for the next, couple of years.
Yeah. But we appreciate everybody that's praying for Trudy's mom. We just love that our community gets together. It is summer almost. Technically, it's still spring. Though here in Ohio today, it feels like full-blown summer, Dr. Trudy. And I don't know how Atlanta is, though I've spent a lot of Mays in Atlanta. I'm sure it's nice and toasty warm there also.
It is hot. Yes, very hot. In fact, go ahead.
No. So you were talking about your daughter and her field day.
Yes.
So that means school is wrapping up for you.
Thursday is her last day of school. So, it's like, Mom, it's my last week. Can you get me out early? Can I go in late? So it's pretty much 2 days left because I got her out early today after field day, and I'll get her out early on Thursday. So it's kind of here, Rob. It's kind of here. I got a couple little girls out right now sitting by the pool and waiting for lunch.
There you go. So what's lunch going to be? Because I know you and your husband eat healthy.
We do.
Yeah.
I'll probably give the girls Chick-fil-A today.
Now that's good. That is good. That is a good lunch.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now that I would be happy with that for lunch. So we've talked a little bit about summer already, and I want to do this because I could be completely wrong, and I have been a lot, Dr. Trudy, in my life, completely wrong. But I think, at least for me personally, communication over the summer changes in a family different than during the year when school is in and everything. Give me some tips as if I'm dealing, like you said, you've got two girls sitting at the pool. So how do you balance having your kids home and still spend time with your spouse, all of those kind of things? Let's kind of go through some of those things today.
Well, I can just say balance kind of goes out the window in the summertime, right? Because you don't have your set unless you're intentional and mindful. You don't have your set schedule as normal, and so you've got to get that schedule set from the beginning. Are there going to be camps? What are the camps going to look like, and then what are we going to do? But I think summer is a little bit harder to navigate because there's not a lot of routine as it is during the school year.
So you talked about camps. I was never a fan of camps. I have to be completely honest with you. I did not like going, and being a pastor's kid, there was a point where I was told I had to go.
Yes.
Did not like them.
Vacation Bible school or
huh?
Like Vacation Bible School and
VBS was fine because I had to go to that because we got prizes for that, and I'm very competitive. Yeah. So like I would bring, because like my dad had a thing where whoever brought the most people that night got a gift. So I'd like round up the whole neighborhood. My dad had to send the church van over several times. I would round up like 12, 13 kids from the neighborhood. And I would do anything it took to get them to come to VBS that night, or if it was at night. And we did some things at night, but most of the time it was during the day.
Right.
And so I'd round these kids up, especially if it was like the kickoff night and the person that brought the most people to kickoff got a prize. You better believe it, because I'm very competitive. I was going to roll with getting as many kids there as possible.
Way to go, Rob. Way to go.
Yeah, but so... so let's say this, because you and I obviously are on the same page on summer camp.
I do not like camps, but my daughter loves camps.
Okay.
That's part of her being her extroverted, sanguine personality. My son, no camps. Albie, she has to be around, tons of people to be like energized.
Yes. So here's my question then, and I'm glad you kind of said that, and I'm glad you have both. What do you do with kids that don't want to go to camp?
Wow. Well, so I find things to do. I mean, we have days, like when Jonathan was little, we had days where we went either to the zoo or the aquarium, or we did an arts and craft kind of project. And then there were days that, he needed to read books and clean his room. And so I kind of scheduled those things, for Jonathan. Albie, she is more of a fly by the seat of her pants kind of girl. And so we tend to, get a phone call that morning. Okay, can we have play dates or can we do this? And so she tends to fly by the seat of her pants as a Jonathan needed everything. Okay, mom, what am I doing Monday? What am I doing Tuesday? So different kids require different techniques. And so just learning, all right, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And, just being able to communicate, Brian's like, it's summer, do what you want, just do what you want. But we still typically, unless Albie's at camp, which she'll go to 3 weeks of overnight camp this summer, we'll still, have dinner together or watch a movie together once a week. Do things like that. So we go to the lake a couple of times during the summer, just as the family, just to kind of stay connected.
I think that's important. And I think the neat thing you said, I'm more of a free spirit. So I'm not sure I would have liked my schedule during the summer planned like your son. I liked a little more of the free spirit. Of course, see, for me, with sports, once I got to be a certain age, like football started, I didn't have a summer like other people did because football started. So, I mean, for me, I didn't. So my parents I was very thankful. They never really made me go to camp. I couldn't. No. Yeah. Didn't like the idea of sleeping in a bunk or with a whole bunch of people in a room. No.
And then sharing a bathroom with like 30 people.
No.
I still don't like it today. I'm 56. No, I need my own space. Like I went to this retreat once and I was like, no, I need my own space. I need my own bathroom. I'm a little, I could do other things, but those are some of my hard no's.
So here's the thing. If I'm speaking at the event, they normally just let you have your own room.
Yeah.
I have gone for friends to events and I'll buy the whole room. I'll make sure that I have to, if it costs me more, I'll buy the room because I do not. No, I have rules.
I do too.
I won't do that. So we talked about the kids. Now the big thing, and we've had some really great response about us talking about husband-wife relationships on the show. Now we've already talked about the fact that the schedule kind of goes out the window. So how do you guys, especially you and your husband, how do you still create time? Because as you've told us, and I'm learning, it's still important to have that time and be intentional. So Dr. Trudy, how do you schedule it during the summer when it just seems like all the stuff is flying around?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you think about it, when school's in session, kids go to bed a little earlier because it gets dark a little earlier. Now in the summer, it's like 10 o'clock before, and I'm probably falling asleep on the couch. So again, what we did this just yesterday. We got back from Chattanooga yesterday or Sunday. We got back from Chattanooga. We got into the kitchen. I'm like, okay, what night are we going to dinner? So we picked Thursday night, got everything lined up so that we can go, to dinner on Thursday night. But if we hadn't have been proactive, it probably would have gotten pushed aside by everything else that happens. And so again, you have to be intentional about either having breakfast, having lunch, having dinner at some point, throughout the week, just so that you can engage. And again, like I told you earlier, even if it's 20 minutes in the morning, before the world starts, you sit down, have your coffee or whatever, and just talk about what's going on. Or before you go to bed, 15 minutes before you turn off the lights, all right, let's share our day. But just being intentional, because those 15 and 20 minutes, they actually will add up, and you won't feel like, oh my gosh, we're just passing in the wind, because that's where a lot of issues start, is when we feel like we're drifting away because we're not being intentional.
And I think that is the best word, what you said, be intentional. I think in a relationship, so for Kristen and I, one of the things to be intentional is we eat together always. Of course, for dinner, that's the only meal that is a guaranteed that we're going to eat together. But like this week, in fact, I talked about it at the open of the show, we're going to go and leave Wednesday and go to Asheville, North Carolina. We'll be in Asheville for the weekend. And we're very intentional that during that time, now this is not saying it's perfect, because it is not, but we try intentionally then not to answer our phones for business. The funniest joke that we tell from stage is, so we're on our honeymoon. Now, we waited a long time to get married, both of us. We're on our honeymoon. And unfortunately, there was a situation with one of Kristen's clients, and she had to be in, and the judge actually called her and said, you have got, where it's an emergency situation, you've got to be in. So she was in a hearing for 2 hours on her honeymoon. And so then she jokingly then goes back and tells everybody on our first anniversary, and Dr. Trudy knows what I do. And I was consulting for a TV client, getting them airspace. And I spent about an hour and a half on our first anniversary on the phone closing a deal with a TV network. And so overall, but still be intentional. And even if, and I know that some of the feedback we get is, well, I don't have the time to do this because I have so many kids that, it's not. Be intent. I love what Dr. Trudy said, is at night before you go to bed, which is hard because Kristen realizes that once my head lays down, it's usually, so she has to kind of keep me talking before we go to bed.
I mean, it is true. I mean, we get so tired, we get so busy, but if you think, okay, so how much on my phone every Sunday, I get an update on how long I've been on my phone for the day. Do you get that? And I'm like, oh my goodness, what have I been doing? How long have I been scrolling? Just mindless scrolling or mindless flipping the TV. We have time for what we want to make time for. I get like, you have kids, you have, your businesses, and life is busy, and no one is perfect. And so we can't have the perfect relationship. We can't have the perfect communication, but going back to that word, we can be intentional to make the other person feel valued, heard, and loved, whether it is your son, your daughter, your spouse, by putting the phone down, by going for a short walk. And I agree, like, I'm a very early morning person, and I can go to bed early, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit up and I'm going to talk for 10 minutes. Okay. Because I want to hear about your day. I want you to know that I care about your day. And so kind of like putting yourself aside, not being selfish. And who is it that John Wesley's mom had 19 kids?
Yes.
You know what she did when she needed time? She went and she put an apron over her head, or her apron over her head. And she's like, she told her kids, when I have the apron over my head, I'm not to be disturbed, whether 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's how it can be when you have children. We're going to go sit at the kitchen table for 15 minutes. You guys go play in your room. Let us have this time, because one day, Rob, the kids are going to be gone, all the kids, and it's just going to be you and your spouse. And were you intentional?
I love that word too, by the way. So, hey, I've got a question I'm going to ask, but before that, I know you mentioned Chattanooga. You were up there, and I saw pictures of your son. Were you in that race also?
I was.
How did you guys do?
So, I wrecked on my bike, crashed my bike. Yes, first time in 10 years of racing that I crashed my bike. I can't lift my right arm, and so I finished the bike, and then I had to walk the run because I couldn't move my right arm. Jonathan, he did great on the bike, and then got to the run, and it was so hot that he got dehydrated, but he finished. So we both finished. It was not our fastest or our prettiest, but we both finished.
Oh, well, we'll be praying for your shoulder too. Do you have to go in, or?
I mean, I have movement, but I can't lift it. So I'm going to wait a couple more days and see if it loosens up. But yeah, a little bit of eating humble pie. So,
I hate that though. We get to a certain age, I hurt my back, and we're not going to discuss how I hurt it. But when you're an athlete, you really then notice it. And like, I was an athlete for so long that I now can feel like things in my back that other people can't. And this is driving me nuts. So here's the question of the day for Dr. Trudy. And I love these. So send them in on the app. And this is the question. This is kind of interesting. And I'm not putting the names in because we're going to respect the people. But it's a lady that said she wanted me to ask Dr. Trudy this question. They've been married for 30 years. Their communication level has dropped in the last 10 years. what piece of advice would you give her to kind of reconnect with her husband, and what things could she do to improve their communication?
Wow, 30 years. Congratulations. That is great. I mean, I think for one, I mean, there's so many things you could get. You could get communication cards where you're just asking each other questions, or maybe even come up with 5 questions that you want to ask throughout the week and just start asking questions. How was your day? You know, well, I was gonna say, do you like coffee? Not coffee, but finding out, because Rob, as we evolve in marriage and as we get older, our likes and our dislikes change. And so maybe finding out what their love language is, finding out, just getting to know your spouse. There was that movie out called Fireproof, and they said one of the things he said that is so powerful is we should be getting a PhD in our spouse. So as you're growing, as you're learning, finding out their likes and dislikes, hey, let's go try something new tonight. And as we go try a new restaurant, all right, what did you like about the restaurant? What did you like? And you can keep it. It doesn't have to be, tell me your lifelong dreams from now until you die. Just engage in just open, honest communication.
I love the card idea. I think that's super cool. I
It is
love
great. I give it to a lot of my clients who come in for counseling, because after a while we do kind of drift and we forget how to communicate. So you start asking these open-ended questions, and then after you answer they answer it, then you just repeat back their answer to them so that you can clarify that you're listening, and then you move on. And it does do wonders.
So Kristen and I started just about a year ago, and we write our blessings down for the day. And that gives us a chance to sit and talk about our day. So we communicate that way. So that's, and people all laugh because, we've only been married. Well, it's coming up on 5 years, but still it's a work. And especially we had a set of challenges because neither of us had ever been married.
Mm-hmm.
So we had we had quite a life before. And then, to integrate together is one of the things that we do is every night we write our blessings together, celebrate each other's victories.
Yeah.
Because
celebrating is big. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like yesterday, Kristen got a really neat opportunity to speak at an event. And it was like, that's so awesome. And we got to celebrate it. And so, hey, listen, we're praying for your mom, Dr. Trudy. It is always so much fun to have Dr. Trudy on the air. Remember, on the app, you can hit it up and ask Dr. Trudy a question. I've got about 7 more in the hopper for Dr. Trudy that we just got to get to. But one of the most popular features on not just my show, but on Abundant TV is Ask Dr. Trudy. So we didn't know that. It was by accident, ladies and gentlemen. One of the shows I went, hey, if somebody's got something, and that was how it starts, but God always works those kind of things out. Dr. Trudy, have an awesome Memorial Day weekend. Get better with the shoulder, and we will see you soon.
All right.
Anyway, great to have you with us on today's edition of the show. Dr. Trudy, always incredible. Always so much fun. I just love getting to talk to her. She makes me feel better every time. I feel more relaxed. It's been a wonderful day and another great morning break. Hey, listen, go out, celebrate your Tuesday. This has been the Morning Break.